Knack II Return of the Knack. Knack 2 is of course a sequel to the PlayStation 4 launch title Knack, where you can play single player or local co-op. However, Knack 2, at least for the first half, feels like an entirely different game in a good way. The first half of this 12-hour game is great. I was one of the few people that actually enjoyed the first Knack, and I wasn't expecting the improvements to be as great as they were, as this game focuses a lot more on 3D platforming elements than the linear clear of the room gameplay that was the original Knack. Platforming was fun and varied, and exploring these levels actually felt worthwhile. I was getting Jak and Daxter vibes. And of course these levels had some combat sprinkled into them. And the combat this time around is much more varied and fun to play with. You can punch, kick, block, and parry at first, but Knack 2 adds in a new leveling system. There's relic energy found in boxes hidden in all kinds of easy to miss nooks and crannies. There's no obvious wall to punch through like the first Knack. And this energy gives you a skill point to dump into Knack's skill tree, each section being unlocked once you've unlocked every basic move of the previous section. So it isn't as much of a skill tree until you get towards the end and really have to start picking and choosing. All this made looking for these chests and fighting enemies worthwhile. I got excited when I got into fights rather than feeling like this game was a chore like the first Knack. It was fun going through the game, unlocking new moves to really mix up the combat and level progression, making puzzles more interesting this time, and making everything I've learned even more powerful. There are also gadget parts like the original that give you the abilities like a combo meter, seeing health bars from enemies, or a teleportation pad for if you fall while platforming. And like the past game Knack, as you collect more Knacks, gets larger and it doesn't feel like a lie this time. You don't feel like the game is forcing you to stay a certain size, because levels simply don't give you more Knack pieces than you need. They act as your health and can be picked up again. You can't really lose them unless they're tied to various elemental Knacks that also add a new puzzle element to the game and all feel different in combat. And sun shards this time act as a shield. No longer do you do crazy moves outside of very brief and rare moments in combat where Super Knack comes out. There are no more magic like special attacks. And something I found great is that the game focuses on the fact you can become larger or smaller anytime you wish. Again, making this journey feel varied as you're switching through the different sizes to complete different sections of the level. However, this is where the grade ends. The second half of the game really feels like Knack 1 without an interesting story. The story here feels very throwaway and forgettable. You're taking down goblins and robots to save the world. In the second half, the game stops feeling creative and just turns into a linear beat-em-up baby's first God of War game. The combat is fun in short bursts, but it just starts piling it on, and the platforming and level design starts feeling so uninspired. It's still good, but nowhere near as great as the game's first half. Like the development team was running out of steam. This is also where we start getting boss fights that are worse than the first game's fights, and all end in a quick time event that feels like the other quick time events in the game. The game just slowly starts to lose life. Knack 2 does sequel bait. I'm just hoping in Knack 3 we get more of the 3D platforming with combat sprinkled in that is the first half of Knack 2, and less of the combat focused game with generic platforming sprinkled in that was the second half of this game. Knack 2 starts in the right direction but ends where it started. I give Knack 2 a 7 out of 10. If you played Knack 2, tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you haven't played it, tell me if you plan on picking it up. Thumbs up. If you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue to bring you reviews for all the newest games at patreon.com/superkengaming. You'll get access to early audio and video versions of reviews, exclusive Let's Play videos, and you'll even get to choose the game I play next. Thanks for watching, and of course, stay beautiful.